The grey man does whatever a grey man can. Can he make a comic feed? Yes, he can. He just did. Watch now. A video from Grey Man. A video from Grey Man.
Hey folks, oh sorry, Grey Maniacs gather! Should I say? This is a little impromptu video that I'm just putting together, just on a whim. Just want to show you some comic books. Well, not comic books, but like magazines and stuff that I'm selling on eBay. But I just thought people might be interested in having a look at them. So that's why I'm showing you them now! Yay! I might go a bit more in depth on some of them, we'll see. Right, so this is just like they used to do like basically the monthly reprints, these ones, Aliens. These are like reprinting, I think, from Dark Horse Comics, so you got the little Dark Horse logo in the bottom there. But this was like a monthly thing back in the 90s. This is the second volume actually, this is from 92. So I've got a few of these that I'm selling. I just want to show you off the covers really, thought you might be into seeing those. I'm not trying to sell them to anybody on YouTube. I've got them up on my Facebook page. There's some nice art there. That looks like oh, who is it? It's I'll have to have a look. So what's his face? I wonder if it's Fabry. It could be Fabry actually. Graham Fabry maybe. Oh, the one I was trying to think was Simon Beasley. I was thinking it was either Beasley or Fabry. I was thinking, but I don't know. He just looks very familiar. I could be completely wrong. Does it say the cover art? Yeah, well, no, it doesn't say the cover art. You tell me who it is. This one's Peter Doherty, because it says it on the. You had the good graces to sign it, so I can tell who it is. I've never heard of him. I don't know who he is. Right, so that's yeah, that's those alien ones that I'm selling at the moment. Meltdown was another monthly comic book to come out, like reprinting stories. It's got Akira in it. It's got The Last American, which was a Marvel epic series. It's actually from Marvel Comics. Cholly and Flytrap, is it? Cholly and Flytrap? I can't say I recall that at all. Certainly not something I've got any. The name's familiar, but yeah, nothing. But I've got any kind of affinity or knowledge of or memory of. Apparently Arthur Sidam was the writer and artist. Yeah, so I not even heard of him. So it's got Akira in it. A story called Light and Darkness War, which I think I have seen like a comic or two. It's Cam Kennedy art, who did some 2000 AD, some Rogue Trooper. What else is in here? Oh my god, there's a heavy metal blinking thing in the back. There's a section about death metal, a background to death metal. I had no idea that was in here. Talk about crossing over my two favourite things, comic books and heavy metal. It's Love of the Dead, Robbing the Grave, Autopsy. So you've got Autopsy, Black Sabbath. Nobody mentions Black Sabbath in a death metal round, other than to say they maybe started it. Metallica, they're not big in death metal. I know, they just mentioned in passing. That's interesting. It's a little, very short stuff, bit about death metal, a bit of doom metal there. Interesting. Anyway, I was distracted. I'm always getting distracted. Oh yeah, what was he called? Nightbreed, the Clive Barker film. Do you remember that? Actually, I think I've got a poster up on my wall. Actually, yeah, I'm sure there was a poster in this that is still. I think it's still up on my wall. Yeah, I'm sure there was a poster, and I've got it. Yeah, 3 giant Nightbreed posters inside. No, not anymore. It's on my wall. Yeah, I'll just show you a few of these. I think these are from the 90s as well. Used to buy these from the newsagents around the corner from my house. Only 99p. This is from 1991. Mature thoughts from mature minds for mature readers, it says. Yeah, it wasn't great. I can't remember it being particularly awesome. But it's got some nice art to have a look at anyway. The Last American, I've got that in the original comics from Marvel Epic. The Epic comic lineup that originally came out on. I haven't read it for ages. I feel I should read it again. Right, Terminator. I think it's Dark Horse as well, I believe. Doesn't say on the cover, but this is the first issue of Terminator. Yeah, it's got to be Dark Horse, isn't it? Trident Comics. It says on the inside. They're published monthly by Trident Comics, but surely the copyright was with Yeah, Dark Horse. Originally published by Dark Horse Comics. There you go. So I was right. That's number 1 on the Terminator, and then we've got number 15. I may have had some others in the middle, and I might have sold them. There's a little RoboCop standee there. You can take him off, and you can fold it so this RoboCop can sit on your desk. Yeah, that's your kind of thing. I've got some cool old fantasy magazines called Fantasia. The Definitive Superhero magazine is how it was originally billed as, which is why I bought it back in the day. Some of these are in good condition because I had them wrapped up. This is number 2. It's got Total Recall. That's showing its age. This is when Total Recall was just coming out, and this is, has it got the year on it? No, I can't see the year on the cover. But when did Total Recall come out? That's a 90s movie, isn't it? It's got to be. There you go. It's got a little bit of turtles on there. I might do a series of videos where I flip through these actually and show people more in depth, because I don't know, it might be of interest to people. I've really got no idea. I mean, let's face it, none of my videos have got much of interest to people. They don't get more than 20 views, but this would be an extra video with 20 views, I suppose. Right, we've got a Halloween special here. Clive Barker and Nightbreed, Reanimator 2, Billy the Kid, Behind the Camera. It's got RPGs, Call of Cthulhu, Sanity. In SHRPG. What's an SHRPG? Something horror role-playing game? I'm not sure. I've never heard of an SHRPG. Oh, Play by Mail, Books and More. And it's a picture there from Reanimator 2. I am sure that is Reanimator 2. His girlfriend gets reanimated after she dies in the first one. But the reanimation, as is always the way, when you're injecting green goo into people, doesn't work out very well. Right, and number 6 is a Turtles special! Turtle power! There you go. I know a lot of you guys out there dig your turtle power. I can't say I'm that bothered with the turtles. I never really got into them. I think I was too old by the time they come around, so I wasn't really bothered with them. Even on the back you've got a... we used to call, in the UK, they were called the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Apparently ninja was too risky a word for kids in the UK. So there was Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power! Yeah, I know the song. Right, Fantasia number 9, featuring the films Akira, Jacob's Ladder, which is a horror film I saw at the cinema at the time. Yeah, some more stuff about RPGs and comics. Kevin O'Neill, Pat Mills and Kevin O'Neill, maybe there's an interview. And also there's a picture of Judge Dredd on the cover as well, you can just make it out there. You get a little close up. So I might do a flip through all these comic books, just so I've got something different to show people. Well, this one is not in a plastic and it's got bad news. It's got in a bit of bad shape actually. It's got a bit of, looks like mould or speckling down the front, and there's looks like a coffee stain. Doesn't want to come off. No, doesn't want to come off, so we won't worry about that. But it's got the Rocketeer on the cover. It's quite a sweet Rocketeer cover there. What's that? Bit of DC Comics. George Perez. Ah, When the Muse Hits You with George Perez, and Jackie Chan's in it as well. Tom Veitch, Len Vine. So I'm thinking I've got some, oh look, cool comic reviews. It's got... I just noticed, I don't know if I've noticed it before, it's got Lobo's pal, the demon, on that one. I probably did notice it, but I've only just, because now I know about Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, from reading it. I know that's a callback to that. What was did they actually give you? The Demon number 13. The Demon and everyone's favourite psychotic hitman Lobo slug it out, and the winner gets to turn the earth into toast. This is a lot like the old Marvel comic stories from the 1970s, where they would pitch various assortments of heroes and villains at each other, and sometimes heroes and heroes, to see who was the toughest. Ah, those were the days. Alan Grant's writing moves at a cracking pace, showing he can write humorous scripts that are second to none, and the art by Val Simex and Dennis Radia does him proud. Buy this book, because if you don't, we know where you live. That's what he says about, okay. About that comic. Yeah, I agree. That whole run was awesome. The Wrath of Chan! Anyway, I should show this on another video maybe. if I get around to it. Yeah, there's loads of time I looked at stuff and I thought, oh, I could do a video of that, I could do a video of that. And it's like, I do the video sometimes, I get 15 views and I think, why did I bother doing that video? What was the point? It's so much like, pretty much like this video. It's only going to get 20 views if I'm lucky. But there you go. Such is life. Right, that's a nice one. It's that's definitely, I think it's definitely Simon Bisley. It's when Dredd and Death met up. Batman versus Judge Dredd. Wagner Grant Beasley judged. Yeah, it's Simon Beasley. It's got Life and Liberty. Frank Miller, Dave Gibbons exclusive. Yeah, Alien, Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, Die Hard videos. Yeah, interesting stuff. Number 16. Got a bit on the Rocky Horror Show as well. Yeah, sometimes I think about doing like readings of articles from magazines. I've got an interesting article, an interesting sort of like thought piece from Alan Moore in an old UK comic book about female superheroes that I was thinking of reading out. But we'll see if that happens. Oh. So I just get distracted again. I'm reading the Golden Age Sandman. There's Copperhead. There's a bit of Wolverine there. Yeah, lots of interesting little articles, little small snippets, and you got little in-depth kind of stuff. Is that the Crow? Yeah, the Crow. Yeah, there's a little article. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth doing. Anyway, we'll see if I do. Right, they actually dropped the. I'm not sure when they dropped it, but it started off as being the superhero magazine. Yeah, the definitive superhero magazine is still on number 9, but then by the time it's number 14, it's been changed to the Superior Magazine for Comics, Film, TV, and Video. So they've changed the blurb. Yeah, and then this is just Arnie on Making T2. Then you've got the Fisher King. Excelsior! Marvel Messiah Stan Lee speaks out. That might be an article worth reading for a video. The trouble is I've got these all up for sale on my Facebook page, so maybe I won't ever get around to doing that. Right. Right, let's have a look. What else? All right, these are some old school comics. Actually, I'll do these first. I'll do these now. Some old. I don't remember this comic, but it's in the same vein as a lot of the UK comics were. Weekly funny book stories kind of thing, with like lots of different characters, normally 1-page or 2-page stories. Seldom would they carry on to the next week, but it would be the same sort of tropes, the same things, sort of every week. The character would have a certain nuance or quirk or power, and every week that would somehow tie into what they were doing. So this is a comic called Buddy. I don't remember this one called Buddy. I don't know where I got these. I've got 3 issues of Buddy here. And I have no idea when they came. Well, where I got them from. This came out in 1981. This one. This is number 3 of Buddy. It came with a free Super Zoomer balloon. It swoops. It loops. It swoops and loops the loop. It's just a balloon, but they tried to make it look good as a free gift. Look at this. Right, I'm going to actually move the camera to get a proper little better looking at this if I can. It's always tricky. I'll just show it like this. I'll just show it like this. So you got like weird little stories like that. Limp Along Lassie, is that? Oh, Limp Along Leslie. Limp Along Leslie is what? Has he got a bad leg or something? Is that his whole thing? A young boy struggles against all the odds to become a top footballer. Leslie Thompson lived at Lowdyke Farm with his aunt and uncle Arnold and Lucy Smith. Leslie's parents were killed in a road accident and Leslie suffered serious leg injuries which left him with a limp. Leslie was determined to equal his famous father in 2 ways, by playing football for Derby Rangers and by training a champion sheepdog. Well, fair enough. That's yeah, why not? Champion sheepdog training and football? Yeah, why not? So there's a 3-page story of that. He's got his sheepdog on page 2, and on page 3 he's kicking a football around. He uses a football to stop a rampaging bull from trampling someone. Boo! Right in the kisser. A bullseye! Right, then we've got a historical kind of action war kind of adventure. The Scourge of the Northeast Frontier, the Wolf of Cabal. It is 1930 on the northeast frontier of British-ruled India. Bill Sampson, a top British agent known as the Wolf of Cabal, and his faithful assistant Chung have been captured by the terrible Bakwa Sakwa. Kabul is Afghanistan, isn't it? There was when the British Empire was right in Afghanistan for a while. We got our asses royally kicked and got massacred, pretty much like every blinking country that's been there ever since have been. The Russians have had problems with it. The US and Britain again have tried to. Yeah, it's probably best avoided. Just stay out of it. Leave them to their own devices. Yeah. So this is quite funny. The guy whacks him over the head with a cricket bat. Oh yeah, where is it? Yeah, quintessentially kind of British. But this guy I think is supposed to be Indian, but that makes sense still. They're actually called Chung. I'm guessing he's Chinese. I really don't know. The depiction of races probably wasn't very accurate or particularly good in these sort of old comics. Very what's the word? I can't remember the word. But that word, it's definitely that word. Stereotypical, that was the one. Stereotypical. Right, Boy on the Run. What is the mysterious secret of the Boy on the Run? These aren't very well known. I don't know any of these stories. So sometimes you've got stories that you see in old other comics, and when a comic would finish, the character might go to one of the other comics that are around, because a lot of them are all run by the same company as far as I'm aware. I think it was called DC Thompson, the company. I'm not too sure though. Yeah, DC Thompson is this one. This one's from DC Thompson anyway. A boy is on the run, suffering from loss of memory. He doesn't know who he is or where he comes from. All he can remember is a burning house, and he must escape from a sinister man in black. A woman named Mrs. Maggs has picked the boy up from the hospital, claiming to be his mother, and had taken him to a house on the Norfolk Broads, where the man in black imprisoned him in an outhouse. While there, he heard the man in black say the boy's grandfather lived in Arbroath in Scotland. When the man in black left to go to London, the boy seized his chance to escape in a rowing boat. But now he's in peril of some sort, I'm guessing. Was he about to go down a weir or something? Oh no! There's a speedboat following me! It must be Mrs. Maggs! There you go. Then we've got a historical thing. A boy prince's quest for vengeance on the Vikings! Hammer! This one's called Hammer. Some of the art's quite cool. Almost tempted to give these a read. The year 890, young Briton Thomas, son of King Morgana, had just been taken prisoner by the Vikings, but had escaped with the help of Karl, an old Viking warrior. Thomas had acquired a weapon of awesome power, the hammer, but now Karl was dead, slain by cruel Viking chief Elric the Red, and Thomas was out for revenge. Okay. Of course, I've got no idea who any of the artists are. They never really credited the artists in these comics. I think that wasn't until 2000 AD that they sort of started doing that kind of thing, as far as I'm aware. There's got some, for some reason, in this story, each page has got a little fun fact on top of it. French inventor Joseph Niepce invented the photograph in 1822. The Angel Falls in Venezuela is the highest waterfall in the world. Is that on every page? I just missed it. Right, and in the middle here, you've got like a biography of a footballer called Kenny Dalglish. He was quite a well-known footballer, played for Liverpool. I think he was a manager for Celtic as well, possibly for Liverpool at one point. Yeah. So that's a kind of. This is one of my favourite stories. This has definitely been in other stories before this character. This was basically a British superhero in these comic books. Schoolboy William Granger lived with his Aunt Mabel ever since his parents were killed in a car crash caused by the getaway car of bank robbers. Secretly, Billy was the incredible crime fighter, Billy the Cat. The previous night, Billy had witnessed the hijacking of a lorry and had tailed the crooks deep into the countryside. The police recovered the stolen goods, but the crooks escaped in a Range Rover. Next day, And there he is following them. But I always thought he had a really cool costume. There he is, Billy the Cat. He's kind of like Daredevil in a way, but he was like a young kid with acrobatic skills and a few gadgets and some fighting skills. This is about 4 pages. This one takes up. This is quite long for these ones. Look, he jumps on the back of the horse and he goes, "Hi ho, silver away!" He's obviously been watching the Lone Ranger. So you've got like funny stories in these. You've got action stories, that kind of thing. There's a competition featuring some very old faces from TV. I think most of those are brown bread now. John Pertwee, of course, the Third Doctor. Tuffy, a boy all alone. I won't bore you with the synopsis of that one. He's a 12-year-old orphan. And here we go. Meet the boy who roams the oceans in The Iron Fish. He's basically got a fish-shaped submarine, from what I can see. Yeah, he's got like a shark kind of fish-shaped submarine. There you go. What's that last page? Buddy's World of Knowledge. Oh, some knowledge here. Okay, let's go. Should we go some knowledge? One of the strangest creatures in the world is the fishing spider. They go hunting underwater for small fish, taking down their own oxygen supply in bubbles attached to their legs. Okay. Umbrellas are a common sight now on city streets, but way back in 1750, Jonas Hanway was the subject of abuse from fellow Londoners when he introduced the umbrella to this country. They soon started copying him, however, when they realised they were getting soaked while Jonas remained dry as a bone. Yeah, and then the final page is like a very many-panelled fun story called Jonah. I'm guessing he's some kind of sailor, and knowing these kind of stories, he probably gets into hijinks every time. Jonas the Jinx, oh, you guessed it, I got the word right. Jonas the Jinx of the Seven Seas is the biggest lump of bad luck any skipper could meet. Now, having sunk a dozen ships, he's heading south in a small boat, so whalers beware. So basically it looks like every boat he gets on sinks by the looks of it. Right, so that was number 3 of Buddy. Here's number 68. I'm guessing it's going to be the same stories inside. Yeah, Jonah the biggest jinx of the 7 seas. Got a quick skip through this one to see if there's anything more interesting in there. We've still got Tuffy. He was the young orphan, wasn't he? That's kind of interesting. He's living in a place called Westingham. He wants to play for Westingham Rovers. That's kind of like a play on my team, West Ham. So Westingham. There's a Billy the Cat story. Oh, here's a different one. Tom Smith's School Days. Is that even like Tom Brown's School Days? That'll be a bunch of kids in a boarding home, not a boarding home, but a boarding school, getting up to all sorts of hijinks. There's quite a few like stories set in those kind of settings. Quite a few characters set, like Billy Bunter. I don't know if you've heard of him. Here's Limp Along Leslie. He's still limping along, trying to become a top footballer. And sheepdog handler. Here's a article story on Steve Davis, who was a very accomplished snooker player. Snooker's like your pool, but on a bigger table. Right, Iron Fish. He's fighting a dinosaur. Hey, can't go wrong with dinosaurs in a comic, can you? Cannot go wrong with a dinosaur in a comic. Red Rory of the Eagles. Another kind of action adventure kind of thing set in the time of the Battle of Culloden, apparently. School for Soccer. Yeah, I'm surprised I never saw this. Oh, Hammer's still going. Still got his hammer. Looks like he's fighting a druid in there. He looks like he's fighting one of my ancestors. In Buddy's World of Knowledge. This weird looking creature is called an Irish elk. Now extinct, the beast had an enormous antler span, measuring an incredible 3.5 meters. Oh. There's a little story about the suffragette who got killed in front of the king's horse, trying to get women the vote. She jumped out in a protest in front of the king's horse and got knocked down and killed. Right, the Iron Fish is on the front cover of this one. Jonah is still on the back. This is number 32, so I'm showing them out of sequence. This is from September 1981. I say these are weekly, these books. So let's have a look. Tuffy still going. I'll click through and let you know that Billy the Cat, he's still there fighting crime. Limp Along Leslie is kicking a football while his dog is running along beside him. So that is a weird juxtaposition. Looking after a horse, what can you say, a horse looking after a dog. Or teaching a dog how to be a sheepdog, or prize-winning sheepdog, mind, not just any old common or garden sheepdog. There's Pele, world-famous footballer, Brazilian footballer, I believe. It's talking about the film Escape to Victory, that was around this time. Thomas Smith's School Days still going. Oh, new story. The English schoolboys on the run from the Gestapo, the Wild Boys. Who doesn't want to read a story about English schoolboys trying to escape from the Gestapo? Come on, come on. Why that's not been collected into a collection is anybody's guess. Can the dirtiest team in the league change their way? The Hudfield Hackers. That's an interesting concept. So they're a football team, a kids' football team full of thugs. But as I say, it actually doesn't say the kids. It's under 18 league, so they are kids, right? Yeah. The Penwick District Under 18 League was rough and tough, and the toughest team in the league was Hudfield Amateurs, nicknamed the Hudfield Hackers. But Bert Haynes, their new manager, had declared they could win the league if they cut out the dirty play. The Hackers had painted an old church hall so they could have a disco there to raise funds for the club. But as Danny Heaton, Don Weston and Billy Dickey walked home one night, "Don, Billy, look! The church hall is on fire! Let's get over there!" I don't know. Oh, and like the Q-Bikes. They're a two-wheeled flying squad, ready to help anyone, anytime. Johnny Masters and the five of his pals have formed themselves into the Q-Bikes, a junior flying squad. Using their specially equipped bikes, they went to the aid of anyone in trouble. Now, as the Q-Bikes return to Limthorpe from a weekend camping holiday, oh no, where did that cloud come from? Looks like it's going to bucket down. We'll take cover in the old barn up the road. There you go. Basically it. You get caught in a rainstorm. And the rainstorm knocks down a fence, knocks down a tree which knocks down a fence to a zoological garden, and there is some kind of wildcat. Can't quite tell what it's supposed to be. It's a wildcat of some description. It looks like a wildcat anyway. I suppose it's supposed to be a tiger or some sort. It's a bit of a shaggy old beast. These are the kind of stories you got in these comic books. An escaped wildcat. And let's go to Buddy's World of Knowledge. Judo, one of the most popular combat sports in this country, was invented in 1882 by Japanese Dr. Jigaro Kano. Based loosely on the ancient martial art of jiu-jitsu, judo grew steadily in popularity and had its first world championships in 1956. 8 years later in Tokyo, it was accepted as an Olympic sport. There you go. So you've got Jonas the Jinx at the back. Right, so that's those. Hopefully someone will be like, oh yeah, that was kind of mildly interesting. Well, as an old magazine gamesman, role-playing games as well as computer games, I think. I wouldn't have bought this for computer games in them days, I don't think so anyway. It's got advert Fantasia in the front, back issues of Fantasia, we just showed you some. If there's anything interesting in here, I'll flick through. Some little tabletop figures, a little cartoon strip, some... What's that? Dialogue with Gary Gygax. So that's an interview with Gary Gygax. So these sort of things are worth like making into little videos, just having a read of them. But I don't know if any people will be interested. Laser Quest live role playing. Laser Quasar it says there. Quasar World. I've done that once with my nephews. Crystal Gazing. Some role playing games. Yeah, hold on. See that Electroworks indoor paintball, you know, laser tag, whatever it is. Yeah, indoor paintball games. That, I swear that Electroworks is also a venue, like a music venue called Electroworks. I'm trying to find the address. It's in central London. It's called Electroworks, this venue. They do plenty of gigs at, and it's the same logo, so I'm pretty sure it is. They're still doing games there, I'm not too sure. Hero Quest. I played that once back in the day. My girlfriend's brother, little brother, had it. Gauntlet 3. A few old discs there. Did I say Cole? Oh no, Colt. Colt, but it looks very much like coal. Or that kind of thing anyway. This is going to be a long video. And no one's going to watch it. Games reviews, Mega Traveller, Rifts. It's a GURP system role-playing game. Right, here's a little article on Hero Quest. Fantasy Workshop. Shogun, a game called Shogun. There's another role-playing game, Champions. I've got a few of those. I'm actually going to do some videos on my role-playing games. Who knows, I might sell them at some point as well. Currently, going to be quitting my job soon because I couldn't handle it. It was just getting me down too much. And so I've got to sell stuff to try and make some money, basically. So watch my videos so I get some advertising revenue. Feel free to super chat. Oh, miniatures, some stuff about miniatures. Something about it came from cyberspace. Some sci-fi books. Yeah, advertisements. I think I'll just show you. I've only got one more. This is number 2, I think. A nice dragon monstery kind of thing on the front. It's got an icon, Good Omens. Dungeons and Dragons, Rising from the Ashes. It makes it sound like it was not popular at some point. Ravenloft, Spelljammer. Well, it's got, in the film section, it's got Silence of the Lambs, Arachnophobia, Frankenstein Unbound, Exorcist 3, Stephen King's Misery, Predator 2, Naked Gun 2.5. Malcolm Arnold introduces you to the world of online comms for fantasy fans. Comms? There you go. This is, what's it, 90 something? I'm not sure it's said the year, but this is obviously when, you know, the internet was burgeoning, wasn't it, around this time? Let's see if I can find the bloody year. No, fuck it, I can't bother to read. I can't bother to keep on searching. I can't see it here. There's a lot of information, but nobody can hear. An interview with Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. Because this is when they collaborated. They did the Bad Omens book, wasn't it? Oh, sorry, the Good Omens book. I actually bought that when it first came out. I think I sold it on eBay a long time ago there. In one of my previous eBay Word. Yeah. Spates? eBay Spates? Oh, I don't know. eBay... No, not Binge. Whatever. Another time I was doing lots of eBaying, basically. Oh, it's the new Easy to Master Dungeons and Dragons game that was advertising. Nightlife, the role-playing game of urban horror. Can't remember, so I know that one. Shadow 1, Ivy and Chrome, Space Crusade. This looks like precursor to Warhammer or something. Oh, why have I gone blurry? Don't go bloody blurry. Arse hat. Okay, camera's been a bit weird. Blinking the button for play is not going in and out very well either. But yeah, it looks like a precursor to whatever it was I just said. I can't remember now. Words. Warhammer, not Warhammer, the Space Warhammer. Is it Warhammer? I don't know. space version of Warhammer, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not sure if Warhammer is the right word. Who knows? Anyway, Conan! Oh dear. From Classic to Corn by Timothy Robbins. What? Say it isn't so. Yeah, that's about it really on that one. So there you go, that's a couple of them. We've got a couple of crappy rock magazines. So yeah, a bit too soft for me, these ones. Yeah. Well, here's a classic. This has got to be 1980 this is. Looking magazine. I think this was a weekly one as well. It's just like, yeah, the Junior TV Times. So it's like, it's got like strips and it's got stuff about children's programs in it. Like, it's got Buck Rogers and the 25th century there. It's got some superhero, what's that, superhero Mythbusters, is that? Oh, Wallbusters. So yeah, oh, right, so it's just like superheroes coming out of the wall. Notice how Superman and Batman are at the top, then Wonder Woman, then a couple of Marvel guys. So this magazine obviously knew that DC was best. It's got a little tear there. Oh, there's two in here. Okay, I didn't realise there was two. So we've got, I thought they were a bit thick. So we've got, yeah, Looking, back with Buck Rogers, Smurf Island wall poster. Collector page, the specials, Linval Golding. Who the hell was Linval Golding? And this is, we've got Elvis here. Who's that on the right? Don't know. $6 Million Man is mentioned. And there's Wallbusters are there at the bottom. Special offer. Right. David Bowie, colour feature, an LP. It's got a Benny Hill page. That'll please the Americans. You Americans love Benny Hill more than we ever did, I think. From what I always hear. It's got some hey, fan club news. If you've enjoyed watching the Repeat Granada TV series The Best of Mark, featuring the late Mark Bolan. Got puzzles. Bowie doing what Bowie did in them days. Wow, he did some weird stuff. He was a crazy cat. 1980, looks like he's dressed like the Tin Man. Mixture of the Tin Man and the Scarecrow. Oh look, Charlie's Angels. Ah yeah. One for the boys there. One for the boys and the girls, I suppose. Just a two-page spread. Wurzel Gummidge. I don't know if they ever made it to the US, Wurzel Gummidge, but basically it was the actor who was the third Doctor, John Pertwee. Here we go. Is a bit of Buck. More bang for your Buck Rogers. Oh, Smurfs. Meet the Smurfs. That wasn't the Smurfs. That was the Swedish chef. Hooray for Smurf! He's the 100th Smurf. You're my twin Smurf now. I hate twin Smurfs. Let's celebrate. Let's have a party. Oh, Smurf that ends Smurf. Hey, look at that. Ah, yeah. Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Battlestar Galactica. That's some good sci-fi in them days. There's Glenn Hoddle. When he was young, much younger, he used to play for Spurs and for England. He's manager for England as well. Sapphire and Steel. I'm surprised they had a comic book actually. I forgot about that. I think I've seen that before. I don't know if you guys. I think they only have one or two series. I think it's only one series, Sapphire and Steel. I can't remember now. I watched them about a year or two ago on YouTube. They were some freaky blinking TV shows for kids. That was Sapphire and Steel, and I forgot how it ended. And I watched the whole series again. I watched the last episode. I thought, wow, that is really weird ending. It doesn't end well for them, put it that way. And that's Linval Goldie from the specials. They did, what was it? This town is coming like a ghost town. I think that was one of theirs anyway. Yeah. And then Mork and Mindy. Yeah. Nice little Mork and Mindy strip there at the back. So there you go. Then you got the TV times from different places. This is like, so this was like the children's version of the TV times, like showing you all the programs that are focused or aimed at kids. Right, let's have a look at this one. It's got another Benny Hero page. Let's see if there's anything different. I'm only going to tell you if there's anything different in there. So you got Benny Hero. Got some stuff about some soccer players. Oh, the Hulk meets Vatman. I think that Dennis Healy, Chancellor of the Exchequer, and the Incredible Hulk look alike. Please would you print pictures of them? There you go. What do you guys think? Dennis Healy look like the Hulk? Oh dear. Sharon Davis, she was a sportswoman, a swimmer, not younger there. As promised, we got a $6 Million Man strip. Now that was a TV show, that was. Enid Blyton's Famous Five. So there is some different stuff in here. Long Live Elvis. Angus Allen looking resident old timer. Casts his mind back more than 20. Yes, 20 years. So yeah. Oh, is that page missing? A page loose? It seems like it's loose. Yeah. Is it a poster or is it just fallen out? No, it's an Elvis poster. People say I look like him. No, they don't. I was an Elvis fan as a kid. Logan's Run. Lee Majors The Viking. I don't remember the program called The Viking. I thought you was a $6 Million Man, not the bloody Viking. I'm fulfilling a high school dream because this is the type of role I always hope to play. That's what he said. Oh, it's Jerry Anderson's Star Cruiser. That's a little, that's a strip or an information thing there. Just that's literally one panel. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. The Bionic Woman. Have you got a Bionic Man for the boys? And you want to have a Bionic Woman also for the boys and the girls. Obviously, the girls would like that as well. Down on Corgi Farm. It's an advert for Corgi Toys. There's a little quiz. Doctor on the Go. It's an old British sitcom. And that's it. That's your... oh, look at that picture of Boney M in the background. It's crazy like a fool. Daddy, daddy, go. Yeah, they were a good band. For their time. They certainly had some banging hits, what can I say? Rah rah Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. Do 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 do. Right, I'll put that away later. Finish it off with some smut. This is an adult alternative comic, not for sale for children. It was just basically lots of silliness. It was all done in the style of the old comics like Buddy that I showed you earlier on, but all the characters were adult situations and, like, you know, but very similar sort of stuff. Percy Pisshead, 100% shit-faced. So it's basically it's a drunken guy, but it's all done in the same comic style of the old. It's basically exactly the same comics, but just swearing and sexual situations and like clumsy Colin. And the jokes kind of wore thin pretty quickly in these books. They were kind of like laugh for a while, but mainly they wore thin. The two Reggies, a couple of gangsters like the Craze. Klaus the Louse. Oh yeah, he's a pubic louse. Lionel Lettuces and his sexual fetishes is the name of one of the characters. Okay. Art Eli. Where he's supposed to be. Oh dear. The Smut's Guide to Pregnancy. A tasteful exploration by Tim Quinn and Dickie Howlett. Or Howitt. Yeah, no, there's nothing like that. Okay, we've got an epistake here about America. 20 things you never knew about America. Although Americans speak English, they pronounce many words quite differently. For example, we might say tomato, where they might say tomato. We would say, I'm going to the shithouse for a crap. An American would say, I'm going to the Johns to snort some coke. It's like another language, isn't it? Okay. Ask an American you can have a ride in his car and he'd probably screw up his face and call you nutso. He wouldn't know what you meant, as the Yanks call their cars automobiles. Yeah, and it just goes on weird stuff like that. The capital of America is Disney World, it says at the back. Actually, the White House is a house which is white where the president lives. It is situated in Washington, D.C. The president is one of the most powerful men in the world and is privy to many great secrets. Even so, no matter how many bombs he's got or how many wars he starts, not even he knows what the D.C. at the end of Washington stands for. I think, isn't it? Sure, I've heard district something or other. I don't know. What is the D.C. district? I'm sure there's some. I don't know. Everard Butt, Damien, a possessive little devil. These are the characters. Oh, here's a nice bit of blasphemy. There's a Dear God agony aunt page. Yeah. Dear God, can you give me some advice on parents? I don't mean my own. I mean the folks of a girl I've fallen in love with. Her mother and father are so overbearing and overprotective. It's unbelievable. If I take her out, I am interrogated as to where I'm taking her and my intentions. Do I have to have her back by 10 o'clock? When I do get her home, they are still up and don't grant us any privacy. Come midnight, they usually retire and give us 5 minutes to say goodnight together with dire warnings on chastity. It's driving me mad. What can I do? And God replies, sheesh, what a pair of spoil sports. All you're after is a quick bout of tussage, or at least a smelly finger. Where's the problem? If I were you, the next time you go to bed and grimly inform you not to do anything they wouldn't do, I'd wait 10 minutes, then I'd rush upstairs, kick their bedroom door in, and if they're hard at it, I'd race back downstairs and do the biz. It's a license to kill. Another way to annoy them is if they ever tell you to make yourself at home, do just that. I like to walk about the house naked, so strip off and make yourself an omelette. That'll teach them. Fine. Yeah, so lots of silliness like that. Let's just go quick run through the other characters. We've got Willie. There's a dog, basically craps everywhere and shags everything in sight. Miser Sid and his £1,000,000 quid. Snow White and the enormous chopper. Fine. The Skeggies, the lowest of the low. So basically a bunch of low sort of, yeah, scumbags basically. And we've got Fat Idle Bastard. Yeah, lots of silly stuff. PC Plod is as thick as pig shit. Fair enough. And Farmer Piles. There you go. That's just a few of the characters. I won't go any more into it. This video's been far enough for too long as it is. I'll go quickly show you for the covers. There you go, just so you can have a quick look at. You know, I'll make it quick so you can pause it if you want to. Gladiators ready! That's the old Gladiators show. Two tramps fighting over a blow-up woman. That's what I call a cover. Build your own Tracy Island. Thunderbirds a go, as we show you how to build your own Tracy Island, it says there. So that's the kind of thing you might get in like a normal comic book. Kiddies comic book, that kind of like how to do stuff. I dare say they completely messed it up in here and make it, yeah. This is interesting, it's kind of like a play on the old war books. But one of the characters from Smut is blowing the crap out of people. Issue 30. Let's do football. It's an old England football manager who's threatening to kill because we keep losing. and then there's like a bumper collection kind of thing. Anyway, I think that's it. I think I've shown you bits of stuff, enough bits of stuff to, I don't know, keep you occupied for 5 minutes. Oh, it's gone blurry again. Whatever, I'll say goodbye then. Anyway, till next time, have a great amazing day, and bye. Have a great amazing day. I'll have a great amazing day. Have a great amazing day. I hope you have a great amazing day.